Thank you for tuning in to Exeter TV. Exeter TV is the town's public and government access channels, available on Comcast Channels 6 and 22. Channel 6 is your channel. If you have an idea for a program, want to host your own talk show, or submit a film, we're here to get your content on television. On Channel 22, we bring you live and replay coverage of government meetings and other town updates. A third channel, Blue Hawk Media, is operated by SAU 16 and can be found on Channel 8, with all your school sports, events, and meetings. You can watch Exeter TV online at exeternh.tv, Apple TV, and on Roku. Find us on social media for extra content. Subscribe to our YouTube channel and hit the bell to get notified about live streams and new content. Tune in to our platforms every other Friday to watch the Exeter Biweekly Report, with recaps of recent events, updates from town departments, and messages from nonprofits in your area. If you head to our website, exeternh.tv, we invite you to sign up to our newsletter to receive monthly updates about new content, upcoming meetings, and more. We'd like to thank you for taking the time to watch Exeter TV and hope that you tune in to our other content as well.
accept.
Second.
Move second, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? That motion carries. Updates from representatives from the select board. Julia's not here right now. She might have something to say if she does attend the meeting today. From the planning board, John is not. Historic District Commission,
We haven't met, we are meeting tomorrow night,
okay, you are,
but, other than that, I have nothing.
okay. Pearpoint Park,
There's always work one day off. Right?
I have to say that highway piece that you did on the snow removal.
Happy to do it. Yeah, Gabe and I both put those together, so they were fun day to do a ride along.
Very good.
There she is.
Here I am.
Miss Gilden. Miss Gilden. The Fairpoint Committee meets tomorrow. We're always meeting the day after this meeting.
Okay.
But a week ago, or a month ago, we had a sort of a mini charrette concerning goals and requirements. And we did the old post-it notes on the boards and whatnot. And it's, can't remember who it is, but one of the people is going to collect all those and distill them and bring them in tomorrow, and we'll then talk about them. So that's where we are with that group. It was a good session. There was some ideas I never thought of, but that was good.
Excellent.
That's great. Who led the session, just out of curiosity?
Devin, what's his last name? You remember Devin's last name? No?
Okay.
It's like Shrek, but it's not Shrek.
Oh, I'm glad it wasn't Shrek. Okay.
Great.
But he's good. That's, I guess, something he does professionally. And so he led this group, and he's been very good.
Great. Julie, was there anything from the select board that you wanted to inform us of?
No.
Okay.
Okay. I think that's the easiest answer.
Okay. So going into old business, we did submit an application for the 2025 Older Volunteer Awards nomination for the New Hampshire State Commission on Aging for Pam Jedham.
Oh, boy.
And we should hear about this nomination in the middle of next month. And the Board of Selectmen did sponsor
Oh,
the
my.
application.
Oh, my.
So we're happy about that. The Heritage Commission did file a nomination for John Merkel for the New Hampshire Preservation Alliance 2025 Annual Preservation Achievement Awards. That has been filed. The nomination did include pictures and sightings from his architectural firm, and we should
Wonderful.
hear about that in the middle of next month also. So I think this item we wanted to talk about a little bit, the next item on planning, the neighborhood meeting to present the Pine Street Historic District Neighborhood Survey to the neighborhood. One of the things that I did notice is that this survey is not on our webpage yet.
Okay, well, we can get that done.
Okay.
Oh, I forgot to bring in that. I gotta get that to you.
And we did decide that in lieu of having the preservation company that did the survey present this, that we would present it ourselves. And that would require some skill, which I haven't done, but I'm certainly willing to help out.
Sure, we can work, or I'll be willing to work with you some mornings to go through it and kind of highlight the text that's in it. We don't have to read every piece as part of it. So we can get together. I was thinking that we'd have it here so we could show the photographs of the
TV, yeah,
houses.
yeah.
And then sort of do the the word I want, Phil. The narrative that goes with it.
Mhm.
And then with the whole neighborhood. Because there's both, one for the houses and one for how the neighborhood developed.
Right.
And I assume it's in such a form that they can put it up there and put it
We'll-
onto the TV?
We'll make sure that's all put together, yeah.
Yeah.
So we
Can I just drop that off at your house sometime? 'Cause I
Please.
keep forgetting to bring it to
Please.
the meetings.
Please, I can write my address down.
Hmm?
I can write my address down for you.
Okay.
Yeah,
I
just
know
drop
where
it
you
off.
are.
And, okay, in the mailbox.
We know where you live.
I know where you live.
Okay.
I'm getting
Maybe
Pam
not.
McElroy to put together the dates that this room is available over the
Okay.
next few weeks.
Okay,
So we can do it other than our, this meeting, we'll have an evening.
okay.
where
Is
people-
there anyone in the Pine Street district that we know that we could specifically invite so that we will have people from the district here?
Well, what I thought would be a good idea is to do like door hangers.
Okay,
To
okay.
put out on each door that's involved in the survey.
That's a good idea.
That way, everybody knows.
Okay.
And it's, we could mail letters, not every property is owned by the people that live in it.
Yeah, we know that.
But we could send out letters telling them that we're gonna do that.
Okay, so after this meeting, you and I could get together to set a time in the next couple of weeks to get together to,
Yeah, I was thinking a 6:30 evening,
yep, mm-hmm,
6:30 good?
mm-hmm.
I think that would be great to do, because I like that stuff anyway. But I think some of the people over there would be very interested too. Unfortunately, I wish that we'd been able to do it before 112 went up. But,
Didn't think of it soon enough.
So, under planning, is there anything relative to the Exeter American Independence Festival?
I think you mean 2025.
yeah, I guess it is.
Which one, I'm sorry?
No, it is 2025.
It is 2025.
Yeah,
Oh, my notes say Exeter Independence Festival, 2005.
That's what
Okay.
mine, that's what
Okay.
mine say too.
that, I think I could have made that mistake last
Okay.
month.
But
Right.
do we have anything that we're doing for it, or are we working with the Independence Museum, or?
The museum, I'm on the board of governors for the museum.
Oh.
They haven't started, we're just starting to plan it, and get the reenactors ready, lined up. I don't know that there's a theme this year, but there may be, that may affect us in what we want to do. But we still would, I believe, still have like spaces for vendors, and we could do some kind of presentation there. Have our materials, all the surveys that we've done in the past, and show what we do. That kind of thing,
Does
maybe
the
in-
museum have, for want of a better word, tchotchkes or something that they could pass out, like little swords
Oh,
or
I like that.
the tricolor hats or
I
something?
like that, yeah.
Yeah,
They don't do things for free, but, that being said, one of the things that they have done in the past, and I don't think they did this past year, was for children to go and find specific buildings or pieces of, pieces that are in the museum and something like that. So we could sponsor that, do that kind of thing for them.
Very
Take
good.
one less thing off their list and engage the youth.
I was thinking, I would like to go off-site for another meeting, maybe go to the that museum,
Oh, that's a good idea.
and have a meeting there, and then have them show us their resources.
Yeah, that one would probably have to be, we'd have to talk to Bob about setting up the recording of the meeting,
Yep.
but that's fine.
And what month would you think that would be good to plan for?
Probably June, I think they open in May.
Okay. Why don't we look at that? I mean, I'd like to look at that. Do we need to take a vote on
Oh, I'd love to do that.
that? Okay.
I like it. That's very good.
Okay.
I think there's your vote.
You
Okay,
got it.
no one's opposed, that sounds great. And Julie, would you want to start the discussion on
Yeah.
that? Or would
Yep.
you want to give me a,
Yep.
okay,
It will be, either be there or the Folsom Tavern that has a bigger room.
sure.
Sure. And in June, we could do it there.
Yeah.
I mean, because of weather.
That sounds great. Okay. So the next item, Exeter 250th anniversary of the signing of the Declaration of Independence Committee.
That's you too.
I know. I have no ideas for this group of what to do there, so I'm relying on you folks to come up with something. The committee has met a couple of times. There've been, yesterday we didn't have a quorum. And we're putting together, we're looking at things from the Historical Society for what happened during the bicentennial, which was interesting because it happened over 2 weeks. Instead, and this committee is looking at doing something every month, something, big or small, and maybe, you guys think about what we could do as an event. It doesn't have to be something huge, but to put together and sponsor, or, I don't know, I don't know what you want to do for it. Work with the Lad Gilman House is earlier, but the idea is to talk about how the country developed before 1776. All the talk started before that, and then it went on till we signed the Constitution, right? And so the museum has the broadside and a copy of the Constitution. So they're going to be concentrating on those things. But we could talk about where the town is settled at that time. Our earliest map is 1802, unfortunately.
Yeah.
I'm still looking for an earlier one. It's probably out in Minnesota or something, but, so we might want to do some kind of discussion about, the settlement of Exeter. We have that map survey that we did way back in the 2000s that we could show that, how Exeter developed. We want to be talking about democracy in general, not just, how it affects us today, I guess. So founding fathers and all that.
You said your committee didn't have a quorum the other day. Is it still a viable committee? I mean, it's good.
Yeah, we could use one more person at least. I think we need to have space for one more person. Francois is doing representing the Heritage Commission.
Good.
We had somebody who resigned, that's why. So we're still looking for 2 people in.
Okay.
So that's the update since our last meeting.
Great, thank you. The New Hampshire Preservation Alliance meeting in Exeter, October 2nd. I wonder how the planning's going for that.
That's really their job, but.
Yes, yeah, right.
But there's something's going to be happening at the town hall to open the day. And then there are going to be breakout sessions on different topics. I don't know what those are. But they're going to be in various sites. So something will happen in the art gallery. Something I think is going to happen at the Congregational Church.
Okay.
Something may happen, I don't think over here, but they have a couple
They
different
use,
places.
The Gilman House. Garrison
I don't know.
Gilman
I don't know.
is sort of our oldest big building.
Yep. I have to call them anyway. I see where they are.
Dave?
That's all I know.
Would the town have anything to contribute to that meeting for the New Hampshire Preservation Alliance? The downtown redevelopment manager?
Well, we have the
So-
waterfront commercial district historic survey,
Okay.
which was done in, what, 79, 78? It's quite interesting to read now because of the changes that have happened on the Water Street commercial area. But in that, that should be posted on our website. If not, we'll get that too, but it's available at the Library of Congress. It's very interesting because they name the owners of every building. And Pam and I have been around long enough that we remember most of them, or I remember most of them. And I don't think any of them still own those buildings.
Were you thinking of walking them down the street and just pointing out, this is that, and?
Maybe, like I said, I don't know what the Preservation Alliance has for their programming. I know they wanted to talk about living with they must have space at the academy, because one of the things is historic town growth around a school,
Oh.
dam removal.
Oh, dear.
Wow. Okay.
Which I thought when they first got in touch with me, they listed like 4 things, and I said, well, you can see them all from our town hall steps. So, that
Pretty
was one
much.
thing. I don't know that that's solid, but that's what it was at first.
Interesting.
I don't know how interesting it would be to them, but the development of downtown with the brick buildings, because they must have gone through a period where they tore down all of the
Oh, they had a fire.
wood ones.
They had a fire. There was
Was that?
We had a lot of fires.
Because I know that they're mostly 1860 to 1884 or something like
yeah.
that. And they've been,
I know, it's kind of interesting that people talk about us being a colonial town,
yeah,
but we're not architecturally,
got a few
so
plaques on
much.
some of the buildings,
That's
that's
right.
about it.
Yeah. The other thing, one more thing to add to planning, and this will have to be speeded up, is the Alewife Festival in May.
Okay.
We don't necessarily have to take part of, counting fish or anything like that, but they have info tables for different things. I know the sustainability, it's usually presented by the Conservation Commission, but I know that the Sustainability Committee is going to do something, or have a table with something. And I thought that it would be good for us. I kind of don't want to join with the Historic District Commission, because everybody gets us confused anyway. But do something about like architectural specimens, and this might be where the walking tour from the Historical Society comes in, of the different ages, and why it's important to keep your buildings rather than tear them down and build something new. But that's the same issue for the HDC. But from the recommendation side, that would be us.
With,
And this is with the Alewife Festival?
Alewife Festival.
Just to
And how
get,
does the fish go? Okay.
I know, it's about the fish, but, we settled here because of the fish.
Yeah, we did.
And the water.
And that's coming up soon, right?
Yeah.
May 10th.
May 10th? Okay.
So-
Do we have any idea? Have you heard from the fish? Are they coming?
Yes,
Okay.
they've confirmed.
I think they've been running this winter. I think the Bob houses have been getting.
Yeah, those are the
successful.
smelts.
Oh,
Different,
they're
different fish.
Sorry,
Yep.
yeah,
sorry.
Yep, those are the smelts.
Thank you.
Look the
I've
same
been
to me.
educated.
The alewives, they show up somewhere in a couple-week window usually, depending on the season. Sometimes they're late, sometimes they're early.
So one of the things that I really want to stress, and maybe this is for the HDC rather than us, but we could share a table and show the difference of what we do. I have this great picture of an old growth log and how dense the rings of the tree are
Oh,
compared to what we're doing with the building now, what the materials look like
Oh.
with the rings having lots of space in them. So the old growth is denser and more insulating than the newer wood is. So that's something that, all I have is a picture. I don't have anything verbal to go with it, but I'm going to contact the Preservation Alliance, and that's when I can ask them about their programming. And also see if the Division of Historical Resources has anything.
I know the HDC has a pamphlet or booklet almost on everything, you know, the sort of what you can or cannot do in the district. But I wonder if there's anything available that would outline what you might do if you want to preserve your house, you know, type of thing. Which
Yeah,
we
there's the
could,
Secretary of Interior standards.
yeah, maybe, but I wonder if we could get something that we could then be handing out.
We did have a little booklet that we used to give out back when they had a welcome wagon.
Yeah.
And I don't know if I can still put my fingers on it because I've moved twice since then,
They
but.
don't give them out anymore.
but-
I know I got one when I moved in
Yeah.
2002,
I don't think.
2002.
But, yeah, we did have one that we would pass out. It would say what colors you can use, which is basically anything, and what you know, don't use plastic, don't use aluminum siding, and a few other things.
I wonder if we had a little brochure that would say, here's some things if you're thinking of remodeling your house, you might want to
Think about this,
keep this instead of,
that.
No, well,
I don't know.
I think that would be like bullet points, and then point them to our website, because that does have the guidelines on it. You know, this is what to consider when buying a house, not an antique house.
But does it have it for the town or just for the historic districts?
I think it can be used for anybody.
Uh-huh.
It is labeled, you know, Historic District Commission, but it's so informational that I think everybody should know about it anyway, not read it.
And where is that on the website?
Under the Historic District Commission.
Okay, all right. I'm going to look at it. I think I've already seen it, but I'd like to look at it again. Okay. In terms of informational discussion, I did have one item here that, for consideration. This is a grant from the New Hampshire State Council on the Arts. They provide grants under the Conservation License Plate Program, the Moose Plate Program. And it's for, it can be used for municipal facilities, and requests can be made from $2,000 to $20,000, and there's no match required. And I thought this might pertain to one of the renovations at the town hall.
You know, we have to put an
What's the
application
group
in
again that's,
this year and hope we get it. Because we haven't actually done the design development of what we want to change there.
Okay, so where is it in the,
Right now, schematic,
okay. And then what is the time frame on the rest of it?
well, of course, it's as soon as possible.
But realistic, I mean,
I would
is
say
it,
3 years, that's got to go on the CIP, and
okay.
it's going to be that much.
So it might be a grant to keep in mind when we're at that point, or if you know something we have to do within those parameters
Right.
and can meet the criteria, that won't affect
What we do.
what we do later. You don't want to rip anything out, obviously, but if there's like a piece that you know you're gonna do, and it's $15,000, maybe we just go for that piece, because it'll lessen the cost in the end.
Yeah,
Those are the two options, I think, and, or you could, maybe in theory, submit a grant, get a small thing this time, and, or whatever, one piece this time, and then when you have the full plan, you submit another grant. When are there any deadlines, or,
A letter of intent is for May 2nd,
oh, okay.
and
LOI 5/2, okay.
Do we have that study posted anywhere
Well,
on the web, Dave?
And also, Moose Plate grants are pretty broad too, like so conservation is included, and so Kristen goes after some of
She
them,
does,
so
yeah.
I will see if we're competing
Oh,
with
yes,
anything.
definitely. Oh, of
So
course.
if she already has something in the hopper, I'm not aware of anything,
Yeah.
but I will talk to her, and if we're not, maybe so who would I work with on that?
It was a separate committee, sort of headed
Oh, a
up
letter
by
intent's
the-
easy, never mind, letter intent's easy.
Oh, okay.
But who would I
yeah.
work on with getting figure out what could be done?
The Arts Commission, and we also, the Select Board has the work that's been done, the schematics it's, what we've looked at way back, it's been a couple of years, is ADA compliance and public safety. So there are aspects that could be separated out. But most of it takes place behind the stage. So, and that's a big bill that wouldn't, I think, be able to
Yeah.
get
Okay.
started. But there is a little piece outside that is the handicap ramp. Right now, it's not very pleasant to have to go all the way to the
Well,
back.
that's certainly applicable.
Yeah.
If that design would transfer to a new elevator.
And the idea is to bring it forward so that it's got a working, one of the rails on the side, on the parking lot side, would open up at the top of the ramp. So people could get there in wheelchair and.
I think
or
this would apply.
Walking device, yeah.
Would you want a copy of this, Dave?
Was that just the grant announcement?
Yeah.
Yeah, I can get that.
Okay.
That's not a problem. ADA on,
Arts Conservation
west
License
side of the
Plate
building, no,
Grant.
south
Yeah,
south
you-
side.
Yeah.
Now, am I?
Okay. Can I get those, where's the schematic designs? I think I've seen them. Those were a while ago, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. I've seen them a long time ago. I don't know
By
if
a
I.
place called Arcove. The name of the firm was Arcove. I know it's in the town manager's office, and I have a copy, but I don't
Okay.
know if it got posted anywhere.
A letter of intent's a pretty easy lift. It's
Right.
just, I intend to submit a grant for X, usually, for, in just a one-word, just one sentence description. That's usually a letter of intent, just so they kind of have an idea of what's coming.
Yeah.
So that's a pretty easy lift. So I think we should, look into it. If it does apply and we have something for it, then we should submit a letter of intent, and then we can
Yeah.
figure out, go from there. Because you can always say, you can always pull,
Yep.
your letter of intent's only intent. It's my intention, but you're not,
may not
a lot of
actually
people
do
don't
it.
apply. So, but if you don't submit the letter of intent, then you can apply. Most grants are like that, so.
Yeah.
Yeah, I will, we'll meet before then, right?
Yes,
We'll meet once more before then?
yeah,
Yeah. Do we know what the meeting is in April?
whatever the second Tuesday, is it
Yeah,
the
I
third
think I'm-
Our
Tuesday?
meeting is.
Third Wednesday?
Wednesday.
The third
Is-
one.
Did
Can you
I?
look at that? Because I'm gone the 10th through the 17th in April. Just want to check if I'm going to be here for that.
Okay, thank you.
Probably the 15th of.
Yeah, okay. So I won't be here for the next meeting, but I'll make sure
16th.
I'll get that started.
Did I hear wrong, but is there anything regarding the stage at the town hall that, like a curtain that was preserved or something, or? Okay.
I don't remember
Probably
that.
heard wrong. But this,
Like I said, it really was about public safety and
Yeah.
because we have employees over there.
right,
There are
Okay.
a couple of things that led to it. Public safety and ADA access.
yeah. Well, this looks like it would apply.
Yeah, we'll take a look at it. Figure it out, because sometimes they have like different targets every year, like
Yes.
specific
Yeah.
areas of focus, like we really want to focus on ADA or conservation or
Right.
whatever. I mean,
Yeah.
so I'll look into it, I'll see if we have any conflicts with,
Yes.
competition, and then I'll, report back. I'll probably, if we don't, then I'll submit a letter of intent.
Okay.
And then I'll update you in the May meeting, because I won't be here for
Well, you
April.
know what, I just had a thought. Would this apply to, the movable shelving units at the Historic Association?
That's kind of iffy.
Facilities.
It's not really a facility, the way
Okay.
the town hall is.
But it's a town-owned building.
Well, I suppose.
It would be,
Yeah, I don't know what they mean by facility. Usually,
No, I've done
if you flip it upside down
Yeah.
and shook it, everything that falls out is not a part of the facility.
Okay. Right, right.
Usually that's what they, like the building is,
It's what
you
they
flip
wanna
it over,
preserve, yeah.
shake it, and all the desk and chairs and storage
Yeah.
things and refrigerators and ranges, everything falls out, then it's not part of the building. That's generally but I don't know how they specifically
that's a good
define
way to
it.
describe it.
That's pretty funny. I like it. Yeah. Okay.
I'll take a look at it anyway, Pam, for the Historical Society. Because the movable storage, which is a really great idea, is not something that the town would put in. Because it's not the town, it's the town's building, but
Right.
what's inside of it is
And
not.
then-
Like it,
Yeah.
it's like Dave said, if you shake it out, it all belongs to the Historical Society.
Does anybody have anything else they'd like to bring up?
I think I already did.
I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Very good.
Thank you for tuning in to Exeter TV. Exeter TV is the town's public and government access channels, available on Comcast channels 6 and 22. Channel 6 is your channel. If you have an idea for a program, want to host your own talk show, or submit a film, we're here to get your content on television. On Channel 22, we bring you live and replay coverage of government meetings and other town updates. A third channel, Blue Hawk Media, is operated by SAU 16 and can be found on Channel 8, with all your school sports, events, and meetings. You can watch Exeter TV online at exeternh.tv, Apple TV, and on Roku. Find us on social media for extra content. Subscribe to our YouTube channel and hit the bell to get notified about live streams and new content. Tune in to our platforms every other Friday to watch the Exeter Biweekly Report, with recaps of recent events, updates from town departments, and messages from nonprofits in your area. If you head to our website, exeternh.tv, we invite you to sign up to our newsletter to receive monthly updates about new content, upcoming meetings, and more. We'd like to thank you for taking the time to watch Exeter TV and hope that you tune in to our other content as well.